Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Dr. Laurie Davis here for our 15 to 20-minute reel on Wednesday. Good morning, Virginia.
Good morning, Dr. Laurie. How are you enjoying this beautiful Alberta weather we're having?
Boy, oh boy, has it warmed up. We're really grateful for that. I know it. I don't know how the rest of the country's doing. It looks like we've all been slammed all winter, but doing better today.
Absolutely.
And
Happy
in
hump
your neck
day.
of the woods, the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a lovely day. Sunshine. Yeah. Yeah.
Great, great.
hmm hmm
Well, we're busy beavers. I tell you, we're working away because we've got lots of work to do this year. We've got some big goals set, and 2026 is going to be a stellar year for us. And all we're doing is expanding,
hmm
expanding, expanding, expanding our people base. So lots of ways for people to participate, to be part of our organization this year. So just stay tuned because we'll keep adding more and more information as we go. So our topic for today, Virginia, we have a question. Hey,
Yes. Yeah. Um, why is self-worth a matter of life or death, Laurie? Dr. Laurie? Why is it?
wow. Well, this is very personal, so I might get emotional because I didn't know this until 40 years ago, 1984. And in 1984, my husband tried to take his life twice in a week, ended up in a mental institution for 2.5 years, finally was released, and 3 weeks later, he disappeared. And I know that that was when the seed was planted for me that there was something much bigger to all of this than the obvious things. It was also my first experience with the mental health care system as it existed 40 years ago, and it really hadn't changed much in 150 years. So I know that started my quest for self worth being a matter of life and death, because actually, my first husband nor I, neither of us had any self worth at the time. We
Mhm.
had everything else. We had the big house, the 3 cars, the 2 vacations a year, but we didn't have any self worth, as I know what that is today. So
Mhm.
that's how it started, Virginia.
So let me get this straight, Dr. Laurie. Um, has has your first husband ever been found?
No,
No.
he's been on a missing persons list since 1986. And it's
Mhm.
coming up for me this week because I talked about it a little bit on Facebook, how I had that dream and all.
Mhm.
But it's coming up because it's the 40th anniversary, like a milestone, and not a shred of evidence to indicate maybe what happened. So when I hear posts or I read posts, especially in our indigenous communities where kids have gone missing or adults are missing or they can't find somebody, I can so relate because I remember driving down the highway, and every time I would see somebody on the side of the road, I'd look to see if it was him. Even when I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, I thought, wow, maybe he's out here. So you never stop hoping and dreaming and imagining that they're still around. The problem with that is, when we have a death, and you've had a few these past couple of years, and you bury your loved ones, and we had a funeral in our family yesterday, my sister's mother in law. But it's like, okay, they've passed, you've seen them, you know where they're going, whatever your belief system is, you
Mhm.
know where they are, even if you can go to the cemetery and visit them there. But when somebody goes missing, you don't ever have that closure.
Yeah.
So 40 years later, I still don't have any closure because I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he ended up. I don't know if he's still alive. And we could do a whole show just on missing people.
Mhm.
So that was because of that low self-worth or no self-worth. He's out there somewhere or he's dead.
Right.
So self-worth, if we value who we are, we won't do anything to hurt ourselves.
Exactly.
Like drink too much, take too many drugs, try to kill ourselves. This is all a self-worth issue.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I Absolutely 100% agree, Dr. Laurie. I do. I do have one question for you. If you did not go down that path and find your self-worth and create the programs you created, how do you think you would be handling this situation today?
Well, I wouldn't be alive today
Okay.
because my low self-worth, all of my power was tied up in him. So let's say I had no self-worth and something happened to him. And this was the love of my life. We've known each other since we were children. Um, and all of that power had been tied up there. And it was for a while afterwards. And I'll give a personal example of that. We're going to do a bigger reel on Friday. We're going to do our first show just on this topic.
Yeah.
And thank you for creating an interview, because at the end of the day, it's not, I would have died out of a broken heart, loneliness. We didn't have any children, so I had no reason to get up in the morning.
Right.
I was in bed for a year. Now, how long would that last? My diet was a loaf of French bread on the counter and a box of Hochtaler wine in the fridge. I never had any alcohol in my system till then.
Yeah.
So I started drinking. Well, how far would that have taken me? You see, so we react to the sadness, to the grief, to the whatever. And I've never really had an opportunity. I have done my own work on that, but as an ordinary person with no tools in my toolkit, when would I have grieved? It's hard to grieve a missing person because you hope they're still alive.
Exactly.
So no, I wouldn't have made it. And I certainly wouldn't have met my existing husband, Ron, who's been with me for 33 years, because I wouldn't have thought that I should have had another man or be worthy of another relationship or that I deserved to be treated well. All of those things. I would have made a whole big pile of different decisions.
Right.
And they would not have been supportive.
So as I'm hearing your story, everything is connected to our self-worth.
Everything.
Everything.
Our health, our finances, our relationships, our career path, our spirituality, all those pieces on that balance wheel.
So
I know people who, I'm sorry, I just one more thing.
yeah.
I know people who think they have everything,
Mm-hmm.
but in fact, they have nothing
I have nothing.
to back it up so they can keep it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Laurie, for sharing that story. That's amazing. An amazing start. I shouldn't say an amazing start. A situation that led to you down the path to become the person you are today. As you were going down that path, Dr. Laurie, when did you decide that self-worth was the missing link?
1994. So that would have been 8 years later. And I still didn't know that. I should say no. I'll say 1997.
Okay.
So 13 years later, I knew, I recognized that within me, because those 13 years after, for example, I lied. There's the first thing I did. I lied about what happened to him. I'd go out with my girlfriends and, you'd meet guys and some guy would say, are you married or single? And I'd say, I'm widowed. Well, there was the first lie because I didn't really know. And secondly, I said that they would say, well, how did your husband pass away? And I would say, well, actually, he was killed in a really bad car crash. Because I didn't want to tell the truth.
Right.
Because I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. And in 1984, suicide had a huge stigma. It still does, but it was huge back then. It was a secret. He died by natural causes. He died at home. All the words they used to hide it, right? So for me, and this is a heavy reel today, but it's important because I'm going to get very aggressive about that this year. I know that I became promiscuous.
Mhm.
Well, I never would have done that. I would never cheated on anybody or on myself. So I became promiscuous. Okay, so what kind of danger did that create for me?
Mhm.
I started drinking. What kind of danger did that create for me? I attracted all the wrong guys. I got married a second time to the wrong person, but at the time was the right person.
Right.
It lasted 18 months, so another failed marriage. Um, I hurt people. I made promises I couldn't keep. Uh, I chose to live in places that I shouldn't have been living. I brought people into my life that hurt me deeply, betrayed me, put knives in my back. That's what low self-worth does to you. So my self-worth, I started working on me
Mhm.
in 1994. I met a most beautiful person, Ileana, Thailand. She's passed now.
Mm.
And I also, at that time, 1994, traveled and took my certification for facilitation.
Mm.
And there were 10 of us in the room, and I was a teacher, so I thought I had lots of confidence. No, that team of facilitators proved to me that I had absolutely no self worth, and they
Wow.
did an exercise for me to see it. And that's when I knew I had to make some serious changes.
Mhm.
And I wanted to go down that road
Right.
of helping other people. But at that time, 1997, I couldn't find a book. I couldn't
Mm.
find a paper. I couldn't find any research that had ever been done on self worth. It didn't exist. And as a young teacher in the classroom, we didn't know what self esteem was. That's the same thing. Self
Mhm.
love, self esteem, self worth, all the same thing. It wasn't even a word.
Right.
So if we had a student in our classroom who was struggling with their self esteem, we didn't know how to treat that. There was no training because it wasn't even a concern or consideration. And when I think about my Indigenous friends, the one thing the residential school system stole so much, colonization stole so much, but the one thing that got stolen that was critical was self-love, the ability to love who I am.
Yeah.
When you're made to feel badly about who you are, that's your self-worth being punched out,
Yeah.
damaged, destroyed. Yeah. So it was 1997 I started some serious work on me
Amazing.
and then developed the first 10 workshops.
Mhm. Amazing. Wow. So,
It's
Dr.
very good.
Laurie, first 10 workshops, 1997. Fast forward to 2026. How many workshops do we have today?
Over 1,000.
Amazing.
Mhm.
That's
Because
amazing.
the needs kept coming up. So I developed my first 10. Then I had one of my clients come up and say, could you create something for youth? Because my 14-year-old son could really use this information. This is like prevention.
Yeah.
So I went back to the drawing board, created 40 workshops for youth, piloted them in Elsipogtog, New Brunswick, First Nations Reserve, second largest Nations Reserve on the East Coast.
Mhm.
And away we go. We've got a youth program that's been piloted. So then, a client came up and said, I'm really having problems in my relationship. Bada bing, bada boom. So you're involved in our 40 workshops of personal wellness, healthcare. And this is all coming out this year. Everything's coming out in a manual, a resource book, a workshop. So get ready, people, because we're not holding back now. There's too many people falling through the cracks.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Great questions. I
Thank
guess this is a little dry run. It's been a little heavy, so we better lighten up.
We
And
got a minute or so left.
I
Woo!
know, I
Uh,
know. So,
it is heavy, but it's important. People need to
mhm.
understand that this is a matter of life or death, right? It
Not
is
or death,
of
and death.
and death. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
It's so important that people understand, number one, the reason behind what you do and the passion behind what you do, and the reason why 2026 is going to be your year,
mhm,
right?
40 years. So we're busy creating survival kits. This is another thing. Hold your happiness workbook up because mine are
Yes.
over there somewhere, if you don't mind, please. So we're in the process of developing survival kits.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a survival kit. And we're all needing to recover from something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very inexpensive way to add to your library or add to your journey or add to your healing. It's just a little tool. It's not a little tool, it's a big tool.
It's a big tool.
So we have 21 days to happiness, joy, and inner peace coming out in that format. If you don't like to take workshops and you don't want to go to workshops, you can become your own facilitator and have 21 workshops under the cover. Next one coming, 21 days to building confident children. 2 we're working on at the same time. One is 21 days to vibrant health and wellness, and 21 days to reclaiming my self-worth. That'll be volume 4.
Love it.
So there's no excuses. People can't use money for an excuse anymore, time for an excuse anymore. We're worth it, and we need to invest in ourselves. And what level you want to do that in, everything from, 50, 60 bucks to 25,000 and everything in between. It depends on how high your self-worth is at the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had somebody say to me the other day, "You're charging $59.95 for a book?" I said, "Oh yeah, it's not just a book. It's your survival kit."
Exactly.
That's a pretty cheap first aid kit, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go. Let's have fun with that.
Okay.
Let's say in the workplace, we need to buy a very high-end first aid kit to have in the staff room in case there's an accident or a bloody cut or a head. How much would that cost?
Yeah, probably the same, if not more.
Lots more, because I had one in my restaurant, and it was a $300 first aid kit. I just remembered that. Hey, how's that for a little fun at the end of a heavy day?
Exactly.
All right, so this is your first aid mental health care kit.
Yeah. And the goal for this is to let people know they can choose life.
Yeah.
They have that choice. That's the beauty of it. You have that choice. Yeah.
And this isn't about selling books or selling anything. This is about investing in oneself and accessing myself to the things I need. Because a good friend of mine, Doug Smith, says the brain always wants to be getting better. And what goes on here impacts the rest of us. So if I'm sick and tired and I'm exhausted and I'm depressed and I'm angry and I'm suicidal and I'm the body goes, okay.
Fair enough.
All right, I'll be exhausted. All right, so Friday we're going to do our first show, season 10, the Dr. Laurie Davis show coming up. My schedule is only going to allow 1 show a week. I used to do 5 a week, but this time around, 1 a week for season 10. I'm just like the rest of the series, Landman, Goliath, whatever. Billy Bob's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
So Friday, 12 noon Mountain Time, the Laurie Davis show is coming back for season 10. And you're going to do a formal interview with me on Friday. And then after that, we will have guests every week. We'll be interviewing celebrities, and we think everybody's a celebrity, so don't be thinking that. Where does our mind go when we say celebrity?
Right.
Movie star. Well, we've got a lot of celebrities out there doing a lot of good work.
Exactly.
So they'll be on the show. All right, Virginia. Anything else before we go? You can have the last word, my girl.
It's so important. We always, our other reels have always been light and fun, but we need to get down to the nitty gritty, dirty deeds of why we're doing what we do, right? This is so important. We need people to understand that they have a choice, that you can choose life. You do not need to go down that dark path. And even if you are in that dark path, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's us.
There's always a way out.
There is.
I should mention that we appreciate one thing. If we said anything today that you feel would make a difference for another person, then we need you to share the reel. This is free information. It doesn't cost anything. Let's go, pitter patter. And also, if you're watching the reel at any time, or even after you watch the reel, if you leave a comment, that really supports the what do you call it? Algorithms.
Oh,
And
yes.
right. So we need, we're using this. This is streaming live right now on my Laurie Davis Facebook page. It'll be streaming on Virginia's and our YouTube channels. So please share, 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 and let's get the job done. I'm tired of waiting 40 years. Okay, I'm done waiting. I think I have a right to speak like that.
I
Right?
agree. Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
All right. I wanted you to have the last word, but
Okay. I will say happy hump day, everyone, and we will see you Friday.